You know, guys, it's not often that here in the Call of Duty community, a piece of information comes out that all but validates and verifies something that people like myself have been talking about for ages. And actually, you know what, on second thought, never mind, that shit happens all the fucking time. What are we talking about today, guys? We're talking about skill-based damage. That's right, a topic, a piece of discussion that we have not talked about in months. I think the last time we talked about this was like November, maybe a little bit in December, but after that, I mean, just being brutally honest, the game, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in particular, has become so much more dog shit than it used to be that we've had more things to talk about, and as a result, we talk a little bit less about skill-based damage, and on top of that, the developers are doing their best damage control, and the cherry on top is that we have certain content creators, okay? I'm not gonna call them out by name. Just kidding. We got people like Exclusive Disgrace and even our good old friend Dyke Dynamite out here doing their best damage control, their best meat shield impression, Tiana Trump impersonation in defense of Activision. I mean, guys, it's literally Pride Month for these guys, alright? Like, this is no coincidence. But here we are again with yet another example of something that we've been talking about for months at least, that finally, over the course of the last couple of days, we have gotten official confirmation that it does exist in the game, just not in the way you think, at least not in the way that it's being portrayed and interpreted by several people. And trust me, we're gonna get into everything in just a second, but before we do, I need you to do me a favor, please. Cock slap the absolute shit out of the like button. I need you to subscribe. We have a very special surprise at 50,000 subscribers. Down in the comments below, hashtag Fooly50. It's still hashtag ScatSummer as well. Feel free to join the Discord, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to go to. It's all in the links in my bio. But guys, let's get right into it. So this officially came out a couple of days ago by this one leaker named Alex, where he comes out here and says, funny thing I found earlier, they have different types of skill-based bots. And as you can see here, we have skill-based bot difficulties configuration 1 through 5 and count. And then at the bottom we have skill-based damage ratio bot to human configuration 1 and count. And you would be lying to yourself, no matter if you believed this to begin with or not. You would be lying if you didn't admit right now that when you read that, immediately your initial reaction was like, yo, what the fuck?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
But then you realized very quickly that this is in reference to bots, and specifically the bots in Warzone Casual, I believe. And immediately amongst the vast majority of people, this essentially debunked the idea that skill-based damage did exist except for players rather than bots. And this guy Alex even comes back and responds with, I really have to say that the skill-based damage is linked to the bots. Please read everything and not what you want to read. And this is really where the discussion of this video comes from, because I've watched several other videos like Exclusive Disgrace and Blame Truth and a couple of other people that have discussed the skill-based damage in Call of Duty right now, where a lot of these people are really just dropping it at the fact that this is for bots only. And trust me, if I were a normie out there, and especially if I was a Call of Duty gooch licker out there with the whole narrative that, oh my god, you're just looking for things to complain about, you're just reading what you want to read, like a bunch of complete and fucking utter imbeciles, let me remind everybody that it took months to years for every one of our conspiracy theories that people are so against to actually be proven true in Call of Duty. The first one that comes to mind is very obvious. It's skill-based matchmaking, and was only officially acknowledged and talked about in depth back in MW 2019 part 2 or 3. The next one that is also very, very important is the existence of AI bots that people were talking about. I want to say it was last year, and within the year, it was confirmed to be a thing in the game, just not in the way that you think, right? At least that's the way that it's being portrayed. And here, once again, we have skill-based damage, except not in the way that people think, because certainly believing that there's some manipulation going on here in Call of Duty, a game that is notoriously run by, like, the greediest corporation and most masked and mysterious fucking company in the back end of all goddamn time is not a goddamn thing. If you're not getting it, we're talking about those dumb fucks over at Activision. And trust me, there's a lot of people out here that are insinuating if you believe skill-based damage exists for anything other than bots, that you're essentially a low IQ individual that's just hating for clicks and views or your narrative purposes. I don't fucking know, guys. It's the same shit every goddamn time there's a controversy. What I find to be incredibly interesting is that when they're labeling these little things in their code, they go out of their way to name it skill-based damage ratio bot to human. You realize they could have very easily called this skill-based bot damage to humans. You understand that the term skill-based damage became a thing this year and last year by who? The fucking community.
People who love me, people who support, I appreciate you guys as always. And everyone else, go fuck yourself.
Specifically, those of us that you want to call a fucking rage baiter, we're the ones that coined this term. It wasn't me specifically, but people in this genre of Call of Duty literally coined the term skill-based damage. And now we have the developers calling it skill-based damage, except it's the damage ratio from a bot to a human. And now, all of a sudden, because you cannot directly see it in code, apparently there is no such thing and no such possibility that there's skill-based damage from humans to humans. I mean, have we already forgotten the clips and the proof and the evidence of something like this potentially existing? If you want to recap, I still have a few of them in the vault. This one's by a guy named Watch Waldo, and I actually remember seeing this at the end of the last year, but go ahead and take a look at this.
Lands right back on.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Cracked another one. Knocked him. I'm just so good.
And I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, that's because of the netcode. That's because of the server issues. First of all, I disagree. Secondly, if it's a server problem, you understand that even if I called it something completely fucking different and not skill-based damage, you understand that's still a fucking problem, right? It doesn't change anything, the fact that it's titled skill-based damage. I can call it cock and ball torture. It's still a goddamn problem, which, unfortunately for you guys, is still a thing as seen in this clip, which is only about 2 months old, where this guy says this is probably the most insane skill-based damage clip I have ever seen at Gorgo Night, and you can take a look at this clip too.
Oh my gosh, bro, what the hell? I gotta watch this. Did I miss?
And once again, you might say this is server related, you might say it's lag related. Regardless, it's a fucking problem, but that's part of the thing that gets so many people to believe that there is skill-based damage in the game. And now that the developers are essentially confirming that, yeah, it does exist in the game, except for bots only, now we're supposed to take them at their word. When before, they were telling us stupid shit like, oh, this is just erroneous blood splatter, or whatever the fuck they were calling it back then. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to take it as a fact, at face value, that there is no possibility that there is skill-based damage from human to human, player versus player. I myself have a community post where I'm asking people what they think. Do you think skill-based damage exists only from bots to human or from human to human as well as a possibility? And these are some of the responses that I got. I've seen so much weird stuff happen, and it could very well be skill-based hit detection and damage zone changing, where damage counts as a leg hit instead of a chest hit for some reason. Other people say, when some little shits can take me out with one bullet and I've been spraying the whole mag hitting each time, yeah, definitely gotta be some bullshit happening. Again, guys, to disregard or discount the idea that there's a potential of skill-based damage existing from player to player, honestly just speaks to ignorance, okay? And this isn't a shot at anybody in particular, but if you've been playing Call of Duty for years and years, at least since before the start of MW 2019 and this dog shit era of Call of Duty games,
The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
then I think by default you have a little bit more experience to be able to determine whether something feels off or not. And when it comes to the idea that a company such as Activision, which has notoriously glorified their noobs in Call of Duty to make them feel like they're better than they actually are in order for them to buy more shit, you know, that entire money scheme that they have going on. To disregard the fact that they could potentially rig your game in favor of somebody who is less skilled for the possibility of getting more money out of it, to disregard that belief or possibility only speaks to your ignorance, or it speaks to how much you want to gooch lick the absolute fuck out of Bobby Cosby from the back. And do you want the proof that Activision is still most certainly rigging the game's experience for a casual or a noob's benefit? Well, the proof is right here. And you might be wondering to yourself, yo, Fooly, I mean, we've been talking about this for a minute now. Brother, do you understand that this entire code line here is in reference to adjusting the game for the benefit of a fucking noob? Think about it. If you're already in casual mode going against bots, why do they need to rig the damage from a bot to a human in the first fucking place? You're already playing at a massive advantage. Why would you possibly need more to the point where even the damage points are being reduced based on whether or not you fucking suck at the game? Guys, all we've been doing this whole time is proving that Activision certainly has what it takes to rig the gaming experience in such a way that you might as well call it skill-based damage. If you want to call it skill-based server lag, if you want to call it skill-based ping, if you want to call it skill-based ping spike to the point where you're two-stepping across the goddamn map, stuttering and skipping, you might as well be moving around like Stephen fucking Hawking, then call it that. The fact of the matter is, there is rigging going on in the game. Don't get lost in the hype, guys, okay? I could have talked about this day one. The fact that I didn't already shows you it's not really on my priority list. Like we said at the start of the video, this game has significantly more problems than just something like skill-based damage. Every single goddamn day there's something worse. However, the fact that all of these people are up in arms not by the possibility that skill-based damage exists, but by the possibility that people think skill-based damage exists, so now they are resorting to white knighting Activision and fucking gooch licking in defense mode of them without realizing that the entire code this guy showed you is Activision rigging the fucking game for people that suck balls. Which is literally the theme of what we've been talking about this entire goddamn time since the start of the fucking game, with skill-based damage as an example, but the fact that it's bot to human damage, all of a sudden it's not a problem. I don't understand how that's not a problem. Yeah, it's definitely less significant than human to human, but they're showing you right there in front of your goddamn eyes that they're willing to adjust the experience based on how shit you are at the game. If you take anything from this video, if you want to take the fact that I'm a rage baiter, or that there's clips that still exist that may point to skill-based damage, or the fact that the developers may be trolling with the name and the code, go ahead, I don't really care, but the punchline of this entire video is the fact that they still have what it takes and are showing you right there that they have the capacity to adjust the experience based on whether or not you suck at the game. And is that considered rigging? I don't care which way you want to spin it, the answer is fuck yes. Activision will most certainly rig the game in your favor based on your skill level. And what's crazier is it's in a mode that already does that for you by default. Guys, back in the heyday of Call of Duty, back in the golden era, you remember Black Ops 1 in particular, right? You remember combat training? The reason it was combat training was because you were against bots that obviously sucked at the game because they're bots. You didn't need them to adjust the damage hit points that you took, did you? Probably not. But here, all of a sudden, they can do it and get away with it because all people are thinking about is that somebody might rage bait the idea that there's skill-based damage human to human, when the real problem is right in front of your face. Activision rigs the fucking game. But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about all this. What are your thoughts on skill-based damage or just the umbrella fact that Activision is rigging the experience for so many people? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.